If you think your neighbours are annoying, trust me, they've got nothing on these two countries. 70 years ago, South Korea and North Korea were one nation, but now they're like long-lost twin brothers. One became a tech billionaire, while the other turned into an international outlaw. One exports K-pop, cars, and 8K TVs. The other exports hackers, counterfeit money, and spy thriller-worthy mysteries. Every time they talk, the world gets a free show. North Korea sends balloons filled with poop and trash, while South Korea blasts K-pop over the border. Today, we're putting these two nations side by side to see which one truly reigns supreme. Let's go. Billion-dollar tech versus billion-dollar scams. North and South Korea are like twin brothers separated at birth. One grew up to be a tech CEO, while the other became a master of survival in a world of sanctions and secrecy. In 2023, South Korea's GDP was around 1.7 trillion, while North Korea's was only 30 or 40 billion, just one-fifth of the revenue of Samsung, South Korea's largest conglomerate. South Korea has a GDP per capita of over $33,000 per year, whereas in North Korea, this figure is less than $1,500, meaning a South Korean earns more in a week than a North Korean does in an entire year. Don't underestimate Pyongyang just yet. They have two underground industries that keep the world on edge: counterfeiting US dollars and hacking international banks. North Korea's counterfeit USD, also known as the superdollar, is so sophisticated that even advanced counterfeit detection machines have trouble spotting it. The US has accused North Korea of printing over 45 million in fake bills, circulating them through global criminal networks. Meanwhile, North Korea's hackers, the Lazarus Group, are true keyboard artists, having stolen $81 million from Bangladesh Bank and amassed over $2 billion from cryptocurrency exchanges. So, which impresses you more? The world-famous corporations like Samsung, Lotte, and Hyundai from South Korea, or North Korea's rogue empire? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Democracy versus dynasty. If South Korean politics is a high-stakes game where presidents rise to power amidst cheers and leave office in handcuffs, then North Korea operates like a modern feudal dynasty, where the supreme leader doesn't have to worry about losing his position. In South Korea, being president might just be the most dangerous job in the country. From Lee Myung-bak to Chun Do-hwan, many leaders have ended their careers behind bars. In 2016, over 2 million people flooded the streets of Seoul, holding candlelight protests demanding Park Geun-hye's impeachment. A few months later, she was officially removed from office. And even the current president, Yoon Suk-yeol, is already facing prosecution. Meanwhile, in North Korea, the Kim family reigns supreme, passing down power like a royal inheritance. Kim Jong-un was destined for leadership from birth, surrounded by a carefully crafted mythology. He was supposedly driving at age 3, shooting with perfect accuracy at age 8, and composing hundreds of revolutionary songs. Kim Jong-un does not need to worry about being deposed by votes, but just suppress anyone who dares to challenge power. In 2013, Kim ordered the execution of his own uncle, Jang Song-thaek, using anti-aircraft guns, accusing him of treason. In 2017, his half-brother Kim Jong-nam was assassinated at a Malaysian airport with VX nerve agent, an act many experts believe was orchestrated by Pyongyang. South Korea enjoys a free press, where any political scandal can make front-page news and take down a politician overnight. Stark contrast, North Korea maintains an iron grip on all media. Citizens hear only what the government allows, and reverence for the leader is mandatory. Every home must display portraits of Kim Il-sung and Kim Jong-il in a place of honor. Failing to cry loudly enough at a state funeral or whispering criticism of the leadership could land you and your entire family on a one-way trip to a labor camp. One country votes out its leaders, the other worships them. Entertainment versus indoctrination. If South Korea is the Hollywood of Asia, then North Korea is a Soviet-era theatre, where every script revolves around praising the leader. South Korea has shaped global pop culture with K-pop, K-dramas and cinema. BTS, Blackpink, Parasite. These names have transcended borders, turning South Korea into a cultural powerhouse. Fans worldwide learn Korean just to sing along, while entertainment companies operate like billion-dollar machines, setting trends that the rest of the world scrambles to follow. And North Korea? They have idols too, except they're all political leaders. Revolutionary songs, anti-American films, and propaganda plays are the only acceptable forms of entertainment. But don't think North Koreans are oblivious to K-pop or K-dramas. Smuggled USBs and DVDs carrying shows like Descendants of the Sun and Winter Sonata circulate in secret. Sounds like a romantic rebellion, but getting caught could mean years in a labor camp, or worse, a public execution to set an example. Technology further highlights this divide. South Korea is an esports paradise where gamers can make millions, and the internet is so fast even AI is jealous. People live stream, use VR headsets, and can even attend university in the metaverse. Meanwhile, North Korea runs on a tightly controlled intranet, a knockoff version of the internet with no access to the outside world. TV has only a few state-controlled channels, phones work for domestic calls only, and the most popular entertainment. Parades, performances praising the regime, and state radio broadcasts. One side lives in the age of 5G and AI. The other still relies on loudspeakers and propaganda posters. 4. High-end versus highly controlled. South Korea isn't just a tech powerhouse, it's also Asia's fashion capital. Walk down the streets of Seoul and you'll see everything. Luxury brands like Chanel, Louis Vuitton, and Gucci dominate Gangnam, while Uniqlo and Zara keep the younger crowd looking sharp. And let's not forget, beauty in Korea is a serious business. Plastic surgery is so common that a natural look often requires a bit of enhancement. Meanwhile, in North Korea, fashion is less about personal expression and more about political compliance. Every haircut, every outfit, it's all regulated. Jeans, forbidden. They symbolize Western capitalism. Nike or Adidas, forget it. Locals wear either domestically produced shoes or Chinese imports. And hairstyles. Citizens get to choose from a pre-approved list of about 15-20 government-sanctioned cuts. Women wear traditional hanbok for formal occasions, but in daily life, modest skirts and conservative blouses are the norm. Men stick to dark, classic suits, with most following the ever-present Mao suit aesthetic. But, of course, there are exceptions. High-ranking officials and their families enjoy luxuries the average citizen could only dream of. Kim Jong-un steps out in custom-made suits, polished leather shoes, and Swiss watches worth more than a lifetime salary in Pyongyang. His wife, Ri Sol-ju, is a fashion icon in her own right, often seen carrying Dior and Chanel handbags, brands that, for most North Koreans, might as well exist on another planet. 5. Can't afford a home versus assigned housing. In South Korea, the skyline is a testament to modern engineering, sleek high-rises, luxury apartments, and high-tech smart homes. But owning a place in these concrete jungles? That's another story. Housing prices have skyrocketed, making home ownership a distant dream for many young professionals. Despite working long hours, some give up entirely, resigning themselves to a life of renting or even staying with their parents well into their 30s. The stress of urban life is relentless, with high expectations leading to burnout, depression, and tragically, one of the highest suicide rates in the world. Meanwhile, North Korea takes a different approach. Housing is distributed by the state. No mortgages, no bidding wars, no luxury condos. On paper, it sounds simple. In reality, the quality of homes varies drastically. Elite in Pyongyang live in well-maintained
An
apartments
80-story
with steady
skyscraper
electricity,
in North Korea's
while
capital,
those in rural
completed in the
areas
past
deal
week,
with
is
crumbling
the latest
buildings
in a
and
push
frequent
by
power
leader Kim
outages.
Jong-un to
Food rations and government-issued coupons provide the basics, but shortages are common and many struggle to get by. For some North Koreans, the weight of oppression is unbearable. Defecting is not just a matter of leaving home, it's a life or death gamble. The most common route is through China, but the journey is filled with dangers. Border guards have orders to shoot on sight, and even those who make it across must evade capture, as China forcibly repatriates defectors back to North Korea, where they face torture, labor camps, or even execution. Families left behind are often punished under the country's guilt by association policy, facing imprisonment or exile to remote labor villages. Freedom to roam versus guided tours. South Korea's transportation system is so advanced, it makes the New York subway look like a relic from the 70s. The KTX bullet train blazes at 190 miles, 305 kilometers, meaning you can get from Seoul to Busan in just over 2 hours, faster than you can decide what to watch on Netflix. Seoul's subway, clean, on time, and packed with free Wi-Fi, something even American would kill for. Need to get around? Taxis, buses, and public bikes are everywhere, making car ownership almost optional. And when it comes to travel, South Korea is an all-you-can-eat buffet of experiences. Want history? Walk through the gates of Gyeongbokgung Palace and step back into the Joseon Dynasty. Prefer beaches? Busan's got sand to surf and fresh seafood. Craving romance? Jeju Island is like Hawaii with a Korean twist. If you're a K-pop or K-drama fan, Seoul is the holy land. From BTS-themed cafes to that famous alley from Reply 1988. Now, North Korea is a completely different ride, if you can even call it that. Pyongyang's subway system is one of the world's deepest at 360 feet underground, doubling as a Cold War-era bunker. But don't expect much from it. There are only 17 stations, and most North Koreans outside the capital rely on bicycles. Reserved for the elite. Highways, wide and empty, like a ghost town after an evacuation drill.
But I think we were pretty close. This cross country's North Korea is officially the first and only place we now seen by Kim Jong-un, and we had some burgers, and then finally
you're escorted. Every visitor is assigned a government minder who sticks closer than your own shadow.
We went down this tunnel that North Korea dug to sneak attack South Korea, but couldn't, so now South Korea just makes money off of tours of the tunnel. We couldn't record down there though, and then we hit up the observation deck where you can literally see into North Korea, which is so wild. Then we got some black soybean ice cream, had one more passport check, and then on the way home—
don't even think about snapping random photos. One wrong picture, one offhand question.
Our tour guide gave us guidelines on what to write for a TripAdvisor review.
My name, what's my name? You, okay. And how many stores?
That said, many
So
travelers are still
fantastic,
drawn to North
magnificent.
Korea's
This is so
tours
beautiful.
because the country remains a mystery, sparking endless curiosity. So, we've taken a tour from Seoul's high-tech towers to Pyongyang's government-assigned apartments, from AI-powered electric cars to bicycles as the main mode of transport. From BTS making million screens to propaganda films, we have to The question is, which impresses you more? South Korea's billion-dollar tech or North Korea's billion-dollar scams? Let me know in the comments. And if you're watching this from North Korea, well, congratulations, you might just be the best hacker on the planet. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell, or I might just send my job application to the Lazarus Group and borrow a few million from your bank account.